Good evening, everyone. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena for Varsity Girls Basketball Competition. Please welcome our guests from Windermere High School. They are the Wolverines. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Before we begin our game this evening, we ask that you please stand as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. And now let's meet the teams, beginning with our guests from Windermere. And starting at shooting guard with 5'9" junior, number 3, Melania Childers. At point guard, junior number 21, Olivia Ikeda. At guard, 5'5", senior number 23, Rita Pulvin. At small forward, freshman number 44, Bailey Travis. And finally, for the Wolverines, at power forward, freshman number 45, Juliet Foratti. Wolverines are coached by Aaron Caffrey with assistant coach Adlesia Ford. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting tonight at shooting guard, 5'7" freshman, number 1, Jasmine Puller. At point guard, 5'5", freshman, number 10, Raquela Anderson. At power forward, 5'9", freshman, number 42, Ashley Tuesday. At small forward, 5'8", junior, number 3, Tiara Coleman. And finally, for the Mustangs, at point guard, 5'4", senior, number 0, Zariah Garden. Mustangs are coached by Jerry Middleton with assistant coach Heather Lorenz. The officials for tonight's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. We thank them for their dedicated service to our high school athletic programs and join them along with our participating schools, reminding everyone to make great sportsmanship a part of this and every athletic competition. Tonight's game is being live streamed on YouTube and the NFHS network. If you have friends or family who are not able to join us in person tonight and they happen to be in Windermere, elsewhere in Apopka, or anywhere in the world, just send them to our YouTube channel. We are at Wekiva Sports, or you can also look us up on NFHS Network. Welcome to Mustang Arena. This is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, as Wekiva picks up the opening possession, but converts it quickly to a turnover. And so the Wolverines get things underway. Now a steal for the Mustangs. It's up. Count the basket. Jasmine Pooler puts the Mustangs on the board. First blood drawn for the night by Wekiva, with the fast break steal basket there by Pooler. Now we go the other way. Windermere swinging around the outside. Pooler gets in the way of it again. Another fast break opportunity. And there's the layup. Jasmine Pooler steals two more in transition for Wekiva. Back-to-back fast break stolen layups by Pooler. And now the Wolverines go to work again. 4-0, minute and 10 seconds into this Monday night contest. The three shot is wide left, banks off. Offensive board goes to the Wolverines. Pooler tried to get in there again. And this time, Akeda just a little bit too fast for it. It'll roll out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover. Mustangs trying to get it out of the backcourt as Windermere puts on the full court pressure. Bounced away by Childers. Wekiva stays in possession. Beautiful pass to the paint, but not there for Anderson. Rebounds to Boabid, and we'll go back the other way. Still 4-0, just about 2 minutes into the first quarter. Live here from Mustang Arena on a clear, cool Monday night. Ashley Tuesday tips it away to Tierra Coleman, who's now looking to see if she can get something to happen in transition, and she does. Tierra Coleman for two. 4 points by Pooler, now 2 by Coleman, who makes her first varsity appearance tonight here at home. Wolverines have the perimeter rotation figured out. So far, inside penetration has eluded them. And that is knocked away out of bounds by Brakayla Anderson. And we'll have a substitution. And indeed, Anderson managed to pick up the turnover there, making it roll off of the foot. Now another potential transition opportunity interrupted as Wekiva tried to outthink the room there. Now Pooler with a nice screen. Wolverines rotate around the other side. Almost 3 minutes gone here in the first half. Wekiva, now a fairly new team. No returning coaches, no returning players from last year's state finals squad, as we get a 30-second timeout requested by the Wolverines. Back with more from Mustang Arena in a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Parchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you for this Monday night basketball action. Neil Fisher is on assignment. Wolverines try to get to the paint. Tierra Coleman is there to make sure they don't. Back to the arc we go. Get some action under the backboard, and it goes. Number 23, Rita Bovid, puts the Wolverines on the board. Out of bounds, Wolverines ball. So an unforced error there committed by the Mustangs, and the Wolverines get a little bit too excited on the inbound. Got to pass it to the official first, and here we go. Blocked by Coleman, and she also picks up the rebound. Now Wekiva will set up their half court. Driving the paint, that's Zariah Garden for two. Garden takes it in herself after the Wolverines open up a path. Now we'll go for the tray. It's short. Rebound bounces there to Anderson. And the Wolverines will retreat to the half-court set. Trey is a little too hot from Jasmine Pooler. As I started to say before the break, almost an entirely new Wekiva Mustangs team. Everything is different but the uniforms, as we have a completely new coaching staff, and all seven players on the roster are new. Most of the roster is made up of freshmen this year. We have more freshmen than any other class here on the roster. Most of these young ladies have never played a high school game until they started this season. Block is called against number 23. It's her first and the team's first. Eight to 2 the score, 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Pooler gets picked off there. Three for Olivia Ikeda. And after a little fracas on the floor there, finally the Wolverines come up with it and launch the tray. Three for Melania Childers. So the Wolverines still do not have an answer for the Mustang defense in the paint, but they have managed to tie the game on the strength of perimeter shooting. Mustangs foul called against number 42, Ashley Chuzet, her first personal foul, the team's first. Wolverines ball at the opposing baseline. To the paint, nothing there but Mustangs. And the Wolverines will try again. I want to welcome to the broadcast Keith Dickerson, our Wekiva TV broadcast production director, and he's got a few of his students with him tonight as we get a jump shot by number 24, Ryan Wood, and the Wolverines take their first lead of the game. Nice pass into the paint, but the Mustangs not able to take advantage of it, and that'll be a turnover. 74 seconds to go here in the first. Of course, we always appreciate Wekiva TV and what they bring to our video production. We're able to get something quite a bit better than the robo camera in the sky. We're able to get 3 cameras going for you tonight. Instant replay, the whole works, courtesy of our friends at Wekiva TV.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan Shea and Hannah Bursey helping out tonight.
We always appreciate the extra resources and the support to bring top shelf high school basketball coverage to our YouTube and NFHS network channels, and we're going to get a blocking foul here, almost borderline tripping. Foul called against number 1, Aaliyah Moore, that's her first, the team's second. Mustangs ball at the sideline. 44.7 seconds remaining in the first period. Mustangs opening up very strong. They had, I believe, 6 unanswered points, or was it 8? And then it's been all Windermere since then. Finally, a good pass, and it converts. That's Jasmine Pooler to Tiara Coleman to tie the game.
Yeah, Tiara making a return, you were telling me.
Yes, we have been missing her for the last couple of games here, at least at Mustang Arena, so it's good to have her in the lineup, and good to have someone else who is not a freshman in the lineup, somebody who has some playing experience.
It's nice to see we got a few girls on the bench for this game. I know JV had to hustle the entire game by themselves.
Yeah, that's a rough thing to have a short bench, because it forces you, whether you want to or not, to have a bunch of players who have 32 or near 32 minutes. Foul's called against number 1, Aaliyah Moore. That's her second, the team's third, and it sends the Mustangs to the free throw line. First shot rims out for Zariah Garden. And she hits the second. Not a lot of time left, going to have to shoot fast, and it's in and out of the hands of William Moore. So that takes us to the end of the first quarter. It's a back-and-forth ball game, all Wekiva at first, then all Windermere, and Mustangs with a little action at the end to have a 1-point advantage at the end of the opening 8 minutes here in Monday night basketball action from Mustang Arena. Back with more in a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Start of the second quarter here. Windermere will have the ball to come out. leading 11-10 at the end of 8 minutes. And yes, you are absolutely right, Pretty Reek. I misspoke earlier. When Tiara Coleman returns to the lineup tonight, the Mustangs started the season, I should have said, for their first few games with 100% new players and coaches. Tiara Coleman now makes her return to the lineup for the first time, at least the first time at home tonight. And that now does give Wekiva some continuity to last year's state championship-bound team. So we are very delighted to have her back as we get a pick-off here by the Mustangs. Floating through the paint, can't get it to go for Jasmine Pooler. Rebound goes to Mann for the Wolverines.
It's 2 tips there by the Mustangs, but not enough to get it. What a rebound.
And that's Paris Lockwood coming up with the rebound there. Minute gone in the second period. No score as of yet since we came back from the break. Coleman launches the tray. It's short. Chases down her own rebound, though, and gets a second chance. And now she tries to get it over to Ashley Touzé, but gets tangled up at the end line for a turnover. Tiara Coleman's foot gets in the way of that bounce pass. Ikeda going one-on-one with Garden, decides to swing outside. A high pass, dangerous pass, but pulled down by Mann. And now we go down to the baseline, and it's a steal. Transition opportunity here for Wekiva, and there goes the foul. Zariah Garden is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. Foul is called against Wolverines number 21, Olivia Ikeda. That's her first, and the team's 4th. Garden hits the first to make it 4 points for her on the night. Second one doesn't go. Wolverines come up with the rebound. Wolverines basket by Mackenzie Mann. And now Garden gets called for traveling. Wolverines ball. 12-12, no closer to deciding a winner than we were 10 minutes ago. And we'll get a basket for the Wolverines by Bailey Travis to go ahead. Her first points of the night.
Caught Wekiva sleeping there. They were still talking to the coach, and they were just throwing it in.
Yeah, that's something you find with relatively inexperienced teams, that can be distracted by what's going on the bench and then miss what's going on the court. 30-second timeout requested by Wekiva. Back with more from Mustang Arena in a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Wolverines going up 14-12. Coleman looking for the paint, gets there, releases too hot on the layup. The rebound goes to Blackwood. Put back, there it is. Paris Blackwood with a second chance basket. That'll tie us up again at 14. And contact there, but no call. And an easy pick for Coleman. Mustangs with a transition opportunity. There comes Coleman, too hot again on the layup. And another offensive, no, not an offensive rebound. It's picked away by Childers. Alicia Marty in for the Wolverines, as is Ryan Wood, making her return. And that's rocketed out of bounds on an errant bounce pass down the baseline by the Wolverines. Mustangs will take over in the corner. Mustangs will take their time getting out of the backcourt as the full court pressure is put on by Windermere. Trey launched by Anderson. It's short, and the rebound goes to Ryan Wood. Zariah Garden puts the pressure on Ryan Wood. It stays with the Wolverines. Will help there from Anderson. Now Windermere goes again, releasing the tray, and it falls. That's Ryan Wood for three. So far, that's where the majority of Windermere's 17 points have come from. They've had some success in the paint, but most of their points have come from perimeter shooting as they pick up a turnover there as Wekiva too clever by half, trying to outthink the room and score in transition, and the play got a little bit out from under them.
Yeah, full court definitely having an impact on them trying to get the ball past half court.
And there and waiting under the basket is Ashley Tuzet. Tara Coleman getting double teamed, needs some help, and she gets it from Zariah Garden. Garden now tries to make her way inside, and she'll draw some contact. Foul is called against number 11, Alicia Marty. That is her first, the team's fifth. That sends Zariah Garden back to the line, shoot two more for the Mustangs. First free throw rims out. Pooler comes back in for Wekiva. Man back in for Windermere. Garden drains her second free throw. I saw a little bit of challenge there from Coach Caffrey about whether that was in fact a shooting foul or not. Well, we're going to get a fast break and score the basket. Zariah Garden steals a Mustang layup. And that will pull us back to a tie game between Garden's free throw and her stolen layup. She gets 3 consecutive points for the Mustangs to bring us back to a draw. And the pass is coming in a little too hot for Ryan Wood to wrangle it in. It flops out of bounds for a turnover. Garden launches, gets her shot broken up by Ikeda. Wood takes the rebound, gets it back to Ikeda, go the other way. Ooh. Now Tiara Coleman gets in the way. That manages to get it back together before it goes out of bounds. Coming in transition the other side, and it's there. Tiara Coleman coast to coast for two. And we'll pause for a full timeout requested by the Wolverines. Back with more from Mustang Arena. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Wolverines take over at their own baseline after the timeout with Mustang go-ahead stolen layup from Tiara Coleman. Still looking to see if either one of these teams can get more than one unanswered basket and actually build some momentum to take a lead. There's Coleman again in the corner this time. Passes it off to Pooler. She's got it. Tiara Coleman gets it to Jasmine Pooler for two. And that's how you get ahead in a ball game, is stolen baskets. You got to get more possessions than the other team if all else is equal, and Wekiva's done just that. But now Anderson was a little late turning around for that one and causes enough of a fracas at midcourt. It goes back and forth and back and forth. Ultimately, Wekiva is charged with the turnover there. Buck and a half to go here in the second quarter. Mustangs up by 4, and they are dogging it. Finally, the official calls for the jump. Not sure if maybe Anderson was going to try to get a timeout in, but that's something that usually only upperclassmen have the presence of mind to call. Held ball possession, Mustangs.
Or the rugby move there, maybe.
Yeah, well, basketball technically is a non-contact sport. Depending on who you ask, that's probably debatable, but for the record, it is non-contact.
Nice shot
Swish
Jasmine.
for Jasmine Pooler. Making it look easy, and the Mustangs take their biggest lead since the opening couple of minutes. Now up by 6. They had a 6-point lead early in the first quarter. That did not last long, and it's been back and forth ever since. Now Wekiva finally with a little bit of momentum going their way. They'd like to carry that into halftime if they could, and Pooler's going to tap it away from Bullabede, who has the presence of mind not to chase it.
Out on Windermere there.
Yeah, you got to dial 1 for long distance if you're going to pass like that. Turnover will give it to Wekiva. Wekiva now already with a 2-possession lead, has an opportunity to make it a 3-possession lead. Full court pressure coming on by Windermere. Wekiva with the zigzag motion, gets to the paint. Count the basket. Tiara Coleman to Jasmine Pooler. 10 points for Jasmine Pooler. She has almost half of Wekiva's total offensive production, and Wekiva now enjoys their largest lead of the game, 25-17, and the tray bounces out. Looked like maybe it was wanted to for a second there. 1 second, and Garden clearly has no idea how much time's left on the clock, but it doesn't matter, as that takes us to halftime. It's an 8-point advantage for the Mustangs headed into the locker room. 25-17 is your score at intermission here on Monday Night Basketball action from Mustang Arena. Back with more in about 10 minutes. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. The Wolverines have the opening possession of the second half. Ready to get back to live action here at Wekiva High School, home of the Mustangs, hosting the Windermere Wolverines. Windermere, of course, a fairly recent entry to Orange County Public Schools as Wekiva picks up the turnover. Opportunity to make something happen here. Draw the first points of the second half. They do not, though. Too much distance under the backboard for Anderson, but now Pooler gets under there and tries to get the steal. We're going to get a hold. Foul's called against number 5, Mackenzie Mann, her first, team's first of this half. Mustangs ball at the opposing baseline. Pooler opens up second half scoring for Wekiva. Held ball, possession Mustangs. So statistically that'll count as a turnover since Windermere had the ball and the possession arrow favored Wekiva. Actually never even had a chance to change the little icon there at the bottom of your screen. So we'll just leave it where it is. Foul called against number 23, Rita Bovid, her second.
I think you somehow turned the lights off there.
Well, I do have a lot of buttons in front of me, more buttons than any single person should be trusted with.
There's a guy in Germany, his garage door is slamming on him right now.
As for those of you who've never seen our broadcasting rig here at Wekiva, of course, in addition to a regular full-size computer keyboard and the scoreboard controller for the Daktronics All Sport 5000, we also have a stream deck as Tiara Coleman draws the foul. She'll go to the line and shoot two. The foul's called against number 3, Melania Childers, her first, the team's third. So we'll go to the line here with Tiara Coleman. 6 points so far.
It's a pterodactyl in the audience or something.
Yeah. Second free throw finds the mark.
Remind me not to touch your webcam ever again. There we go.
Wolverines get the ball at the opposing baseline. And now we're going to get a travel call. Mustangs will take over. As we said, we have a lot of buttons here. I think I can get this. There we go. If you want to see our setup here behind the camera, we've got our stream deck, which has all of the video control buttons, as well as the vMix setup there, and of course the Daktronics All Sport controller. We'll go back to live action here, and you can see we've built that up over the years through, again, our partnership with Wekiva TV broadcast production. Lots of toys and gadgets to enhance your viewing experience.
Windermere with the rebound there. It's the one time I was able to trick the bookkeeper into letting us get quote-unquote video game items.
Yes, what we learned is that obviously the standard laptops that come issued by Orange County Public Schools for the purposes of, you know, taking tests and browsing the web, those are obviously not sufficient for live streaming. What we learned is that you are not allowed to buy your own computer using OCPS funds. You have to get it. You have to procure it through the IT department with one of the pre-approved models. However, you are not prohibited from buying computer parts. And Mr. Dickerson and I both have a little bit of experience with building towers, and so that's how we came to have a broadcasting mainframe here.
I have not borrowed any of it for my personal Twitch either. I'm pretty proud of myself. So. There's no corruption behind the scenes or anything.
And a beautiful steal down the baseline. That's Tiara Coleman. Opportunity to go coast to coast, and she does. Tiara Coleman, coast to coast for two. That breaks something of a little dry spell that both teams have had, and now Wekiva up 30-17. Windermere has yet to score here in the third quarter. We'll get a chance to do so from the charity stripe now, though, as Tiara Coleman gets called on the hit. That's her first, the team's first this half. And that will send Mackenzie Mann to the line, shooting two for the Wolverines. Ashley Tuzet comes back into the game for Tiara Coleman. Here comes the second free throw. Short, but it bounces in. So the Wolverines now on the board for the second half. Wekiva still a point shy of their largest lead of the game. What was a very tight contest right through about the midpoint of the second quarter, and then Wekiva finally started to get all the momentum. Largely thanks to Tiara Coleman and her stolen baskets in the backcourt that turned into transition plays in the front court. That's where Wekiva has been banking so far. Now Mustangs under their own baseline, and Anderson is forced to step out of bounds. So that'll be a turnover. Wolverines put the ball in almost halfway through the third quarter here at Mustang Arena.
Beautiful shot.
Drain the rain. Three for number 24, who snuck into the game when I wasn't looking.
Jasmine with a look for three. Didn't quite make it. Rebound Wekiva. But we got to travel.
Traveling. Wolverines ball.
Windermere looking for a repeat three there. Didn't quite get it, though. Jasmine's going to slip.
Yeah, Pooler thought she had that one and slipped right out of her fingers as she came up off the ground. Bounce pass is dangerous. There's 3-on-1 in the paint there. It's going to be Wekiva that comes up with it, courtesy of Anderson. Anderson wanted to get the fast break there, but thought better of it at the last second. Trey released by Garden. And Boabid picks up the rebound. Found the basket and one. Rita Boabid picks up two for the Wolverines. Mustang foul is called against Paris Blackwood, her first, team second. Boabid with 4 points, including the two she just snagged, and she makes it 5. So the three-point play converts, under 3 minutes to go here. That cuts it to a two-possession ball game. Nice bounce pass, and it's stripped on the way up by Ryan Wood. No, it's not either. They're going to call that a held ball. Possession, Wolverines. Bailey Travis coming into the game for Windermere. 2.5 to go here in the third. Moore gets tangled up there. Jasmine Pooler steals 2 for Wekiva. Back up to an 8-point lead. To the paint, sneaking through, but it bounces out for Bullabede. And just a snag her own rebound, though. Now watches an anemic Trey from the corner. Blackwood on the rebound. Mustangs go to work, trying to get down there before the half court gets set up. She does, but Pooler's layup is just a little bit too hot. And it bounces into the hands of Olivia Ikeda. Wolverines will swing it around. Short pass. Garden, if she'd been a little bit quicker, might have gotten in there. Now we go down the baseline to Ferrati. She's getting double teamed. Drops the ball, and Wekiva manages to fish it out before it goes out of bounds. Now we have a transition opportunity, and it goes. Soraya Garden for 2. And we'll pause for a full timeout requested by the Wolverines. We'll be back from Mustang Arena in just a moment. Back to live action here at Mustang Arena, where Wekiva has a 10-point advantage over the Wolverines, 34-24. Your score with just over a minute remaining in the third period. This is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Keith Dickerson from Wekiva TV Broadcast Production, taking you through tonight's contest. Neil Fisher is on assignment. And just before stepping out, we are going to get a foul. Ashley Tuzet is called in her second personal foul. It's the team's third. Wolverines ball at the opposing baseline.
Oh, some miscommunication there.
Double dribble violation. Mustangs ball. So ultimately an unforced error.
She thought, I believe, Akita was going to pick that up, but she wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, and that's something, we've mentioned it for Wekiva several times over the course of the first few games of the season. I'm sure Windermere is feeling it just as much as we get Tierra Coleman down the paint for 2. But both the Wolverines and the Mustangs feeling a little bit of those early season jitters where, you know, you're working with a group of girls that have never played together as a unit before, and it's still early in the season. Still, for everyone other than Coleman, very early in their basketball careers. Windermere, looking at their roster, also has some young players. And you just have to be able to sense what's going on without thinking about it. It's like playing a musical instrument. You have to be able to translate the notes to the keys without it going through your brain first, and that's something that these young ladies are still getting accustomed to. As that takes us to the end of the third period, and it's a 12-point ball game. 36-24 is the score going into the final 8 minutes of varsity action here at Mustang Arena. Back with more in a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Fourth quarter getting underway. And during the break, we were just filling in our fans here in the arena that this is actually the last chance to see Wekiva at home in the month of December. It is the first, last, and only chance to see the Mustangs at home in December. Their next 3 games are away, and then they are at the Florida Prospects Classic, which will be at some combination of Apopka and Dr. Phillips. So next time we'll see them here. Oh, and then there's the Metro West tournament.
That's
opens
right.
the new year. And that will also be away at some combination of Apopka and DP. And so your next chance to catch them here at Mustang Arena is actually not until January 10th. You can believe it's more than a month between home games. As we get a putback by Bailey Travis. So hard to believe, more than a month between home games, but that's just how the schedule worked out this year. Now in exchange for that, you've got 4 home games in a row.
There by number
10. 3 for Brakela Anderson. So anyway, as I started to say before Brakela rudely interrupted me, 4 consecutive home games to end the season. So, you know, normally you like to see home, away, you know, kind of mixed up evenly. This year, though, that is not the case. Lots of away games in December, lots of home games in January. Jones on the 10th, Evans the 11th, Winter Springs the 23rd, and Ocoee the 27th. And now we're going to get a bump. Foul called against number 23, Rita Bulleby. That's her 3rd, the team's 4th of this half. Mustangs ball at the sideline.
We've got a boys Friday against Ocoee.
Yes, that one I will miss because that is the night of the Prism concert. And if you're not aware, my wife is the chorus director, and so I will be involved in taking care of everything that she's not taking care of that week because she is busy with the Prism concert. So you'll be in the capable hands of Neil Fisher and Keith Dickerson, and they'll take good care of you. 3-point basket for number 3.
And then the following Friday is the game of the year.
Yes, Wekiva Popka.
Oh, no, I was talking about the pep rally.
Oh, the pep rally. Yes, the student-faculty basketball game. Excuse me. How could we possibly compete with that? Full timeout requested by Wekiva. Back with more in a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. 5:53 to go. Mustangs still holding on to a 10-point lead. It has fluctuated in that 8 to 12-point range pretty much since mid-third quarter. 12 points scored since intermission for Windermere, and now 3 more as we get a 3 from Jasmine Pooler. 17 points from her tonight.
It's the first game of the season. I think she had 12, and I told her in class, I was like, hey, you did pretty good. She's like, no, I could have done better. So,
well, that's the attitude to have.
Curious what she'll say tomorrow. What a rebound by Tiara there.
Tiara Coleman on the putback. 13 points for her tonight, so got 2 players in double figures for Wekiva. Three for Olivia Ikeda. So we're trading threes here. Of course, Windermere needs to get some unanswered baskets if they want to make some progress, and they're starting to run out of time to do that. Coleman gets a second chance. That's not there.
How about a third and a fourth? And fourth is the charm.
Tiara Coleman on the putback. Delay of game warning is called against Coleman. First one of those is free. Second one costs you technical.
What was that on? I didn't catch that.
It was Tiara Coleman. It's a delay of game warning, so it essentially means that she did something after the basket that prevented Windermere from inbounding the ball in a timely manner. So again, the first time you do that, it's just a warning. They make a note of it in the scorebook. If you do it again in the same game, then it's a technical foul. You'll also see that sometimes on inbounding when players don't give them the necessary, I think it's 3 feet or 5 feet of clearance that you have to have on the sidelines to throw it in. And if they reach inside of that and slap the ball while it's still out of bounds, that's also a delay of game warning. So Wekiva now, I believe this is their largest lead of the game, 14 points on the strength of their offensive rebounding. Now picked off by Zariah Garden, and
not in time.
Yeah, that too clever by half there as Wekiva rocketed that ball down the court before their players could get there. Those transition plays are high risk, high reward. When you have an opportunity to execute them, you want to take advantage of it, but if you try too hard, then you make it not only too hard for the other team, you make it too hard for your own players. 30-second timeout requested by Windermere. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. I find the right combinations of knobs to turn my headset back on. Coast to coast for Kayla Anderson. Now the three release, it's off the heel. Iron unkind to Ikeda. Pooler on the rebound. As we dip under 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. That's Mackenzie Mann coming back into the game for the Wolverines. They'll have the ball at their own baseline. 16-point advantage for the Mustangs, their largest of the game, and short air ball on the three from Ryan Wood. Rebound goes to Boabid. Childers up, and it bounces off. Mann can't get it off the glass either, and now full court pressure coming on to Wekiva. Blackwood manages to escape. Coleman launches the tray, and it's short.
Oh, with a steal right point-blank range. She's going to get the layup.
Tierra Coleman, a quick steal and a basket for Wekiva. 17 points for her all by herself today. Pooler also has 17. And here comes Coleman again. Pooler nearly lost that one, but comes up with it anyway. Redeems herself nicely. Jasmine Pooler from Garden for two.
It's a future rehearsal for later in the season, I'm sure.
And a long two-point jump shot picked up by Ryan Wood. We'll pause now for a Mustang timeout. Wood picks up her 10th point of the game. And it's just a 30-second timeout for the sake of substitutions. So that leaves Wekiva with 2 timeouts, Windermere with 1. All of those are full timeouts. You see those little yellow dashes at the bottom of the scoreboard, and that's what those mean. And Wekiva puts a little too much mustard on that 3 attempt. Buck 17 to go here in the ball game. Launch the tray, count it. Olivia Ikeda for 3. 9 points for her tonight. 52-37, and it looks like Wekiva's got this one in the can, so don't look for them to do anything too dazzling here in the closing seconds. And now Pooler loses the ball to a steal. To the corner, launch the tray, short. Hell ball. Possession. Wolverines.
Wow.
3 for Melania Childers. She's got 9 points tonight. I'm fairly certain, if I remember correctly, all 9 of those are on the strength of 3 perimeter shots. And now she's got a chance to get some inside, and the layup is just short. So Windermere certainly, whatever else you might criticize, their three-point shooting's been all right tonight as we dip under 5 seconds. Here comes one last long-distance jumper, and it's not going to fall. As that takes us to the end of the ball game. It's a 12-point victory for the Mustangs here on Monday night to start and finish the December season. 52-40 is your final score. We'd like to thank everyone for coming out to support your Mustang and Wolverine athletes. Thanks also to those of you who joined us online on YouTube or the NFHS network. On-demand replay will be available later at your leisure if you'd like to go back and watch the game again. This is the last, first, and only home game for the Mustangs in the month of December. They have a little bit of a scheduling quirk. They are on the road 3 games in a row. Oak Ridge on the 6th, Olympia on the 8th, West Orange on the 13th. Then they go to the Florida Prospects Holiday Classic and the OCPS Metro West Tournament over the break. Both of those events will be at Apopka and Dr. Phillips. And then finally, they are back here at Mustang Arena more than a month from today, January 10th, the Mustangs will host the Jones Tigers. We look forward to seeing you then. We've got boys basketball later this week and next week, though. We hope you come back and see us for that. Until then, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Wekiva Sports on all 4 of those services, and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. For those of you here in the arena, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you watching us online, again, our thanks to Wekiva TV Broadcast Production for helping us out with the video aspects of tonight's game under the direction of Mr. Keith Dickerson. We hope you'll join us for boys basketball later this week, and then, of course, the ladies will be back on January 10th. This is Mark Bargy, the voice of the Mustangs, on behalf of Wekiva TV Broadcast Production. This has been a presentation of Wekiva High School Athletics in association with Orange Technical College, both a proud part of Orange County Public Schools. We'll see you next time. Good night from Mustang Arena.